Evening, Elaine. Is there anybody else out there at the moment? Is my computer going really slow? Is there anybody else out there at the moment? Is my computer going really slow? Hi, Mary. Right, let's give it a minute or two. Hi, Wendy. Oh, Mary. We have one tray for the fussy cut pieces. There's tray number 2. Thought you'd all like to see what goes in the fussy cutting trays when we're crafting. Okay, so this week we're working on the back of page 3 and the front of page 4. Now these are fold out sections that you can put lots of photos on, or if you like the paper, just put the paper on. So I'll put those to one side. So there we go. If we just work on one, so it's a concertina pull out, so they're all 8 inches high. So if we just trim the card down, to 8 inches. Okay, so the first one is at 8 by 6.5. The second one is at 8 inches by 7.5 inches. They are very nice, Elaine. Too nice, I keep eating them. So that one's 8 times 7.5. Okay, so I'll just move those out of the way. And get my scoreboard. Hi Wendy, hi Diana. How's the thumb now, Diana? Is it feeling better? I can't read and talk at the same time. So on the 6.5 inch one, on the 6.5 inch side, score at 1/2 inch. So if I just show you that one, and on the 7.5 inch one, score on the 7.5 inch side at 1/2 inch and at 4 inches. So just so it makes it easy to see, we're scoring at that one there and that one there. Okay. Oh, that's good, Diana. At least you get a good sleep. You'll be back at crafting in no time. Okay. So, if we just fold and score. On that one. So that will attach to your base page. And on this one, so that's to attach to the other page, and then fold it back on itself. What? And score there. So that attaches like that. So it attaches behind there and folds back on itself. And this is going to attach to the inside of your page. So it will open that way and then it will open out that way. So we'll get the glue. I'm sure you'll manage to craft one-handed, Diana. So, oh, I'll put the glue on here. Make sure you've got it the right way up. I have been known to do it the wrong way. And make sure that's lined up. Hi Nikki, hi Carol. And get that burnished down well. Okay, I'm just going to take that out for now, just so that it was a bit lumpy. So that's your first page. Then this one just fits over there. So what I'm going to do is put the glue on here. And then if you butt that up, make it sure it's level. And then burnish that down. Put a bit too much glue on there. It's oozing everywhere. Okay. So you'll have your, that's the front of page 3. It'll open up onto page 4 and you've got 2 sections there for photos. Open it out and you've got more there. So if we do that again for the front of page 4. So get your trimmer Again, it's 8 inches wide. By 6.5. And 8 inches wide by 7.5. These offcuts are really good for doing your pockets, so keep them to one side because we will use them later. So on the 6.5 inch side, you score at 1/2 inch. And then on the 7.5 inch side, score at 1/2 inch and at 4 inches. So I'll just show you again. That scores down there and that scores there. So put the scoreboard away. So I need to fold and burnish the hinge. And on the other one as well. Okay. Okay. So again, this one is going to attach to the inside. Is anybody still crafting along? I know Lynn's not here. She's been putting some photos up. Has anybody else got any photos to share, or are they not quite done yet? Okay, attach that. And score it there. Push that down. And then, hi Jen, hi Linda, pop your glue down the edge here. And get that straight. And if you have a mental block like I just did, thinking I put it on the wrong way round, don't worry, because at the moment it'll go either way. So when you've got your pages, they will look like that, and they both open up, and then they will both fold over and concertina in like that for you. Okay, so if we go on to the back of page 4 now. So on the back of page 4, oops, you need a long pocket. So that is at 9 inches by 3 inches. inches. By 3 inches. And then we score on 3 sides to make a standard pocket. So on the long side we're scoring at 1/2 inch and at 8.5 inches, and then spin it round, and on the shorter 3-inch side again just scoring at 1/2 inch. And then we're going to miter the corner. And fold over, so that then gives us our pocket. So that's the front of your page 4. So on the back, your pocket, I've missed that one, is going to go on the left hand edge, face it, so the opening of the pocket is facing the middle of your book. So we'll pop some glue on there, and oops, line it up. Okay, so into here we've got a trifold booklet, just because I wanted to give a little bit more space for putting pictures and things in. So you need to cut, oops, so if we need to cut one at 7.5 by 10 inches. And then the next one at 7.5 by 5.25. Okay. Does anyone else mess about with different cutters and different equipment for scoring and having to constantly swap between the two? Okay, so on the 7.5 by 10, if you score at 5 inches, just do that on there, and that is just simply folded in half. And then the one that was at 5 1/4 inches, if you score at 1/2 inch, and just fold that over. Pop that, and it just gives you that little bit of extra wiggle room there. So pop your glue on. Okay. And then just fold that down, burnish the glue on there, so when it folds over you've just got a small gap there so that it doesn't interfere. And then that will just slip inside that pocket like that. So, excuse me. And get some papers and we can now start decorating. So if we get your make sure you've got them the right way around. So for your first page, I left these front flaps till the end because you can actually use offcuts. So we'll fold that one up. So I quite like that one. I don't know if anybody can actually read. There's some of it's in English. I can't read music, so I've no idea if these are actual tunes or it's just a pretty pattern. So for here, we need, so it's going to be just under 6 inches by, now because we've got the pocket here, I'm going to cut it at the full 8 inches and just tuck it away. So cut it at 6 inches. And then I'll cut that at the 8 inches. So, should have cut that just under. So, trim a smidge off this side, just to give a bit of a reveal. Now, what I'm going to start is at the bottom, use the white pencil. That is the edge of the pocket. I don't know if that shows up there. So I'm going to pop my paper down. So I want it just underneath that, just so it has a bit of a reveal. So, okay, spin that round. and lose it. And then trim that off, and that will just fit on there for the pocket. So, and I treat myself to a new ink pad today as well. Ink the edges. Not quite as exciting as watching paint dry, but I do like the edges when they've been inked. So pop that on the bottom like that. And then ink the top piece. Okay, and that will just tuck inside, but it will line up at the bottom. So put some glue on. And just give it a little bit of, make sure it's straight. And that's that piece done. Now, I think, oh, this is where I get stuck with choices for paper. Hi, Sally. Ooh, baby books. Yeah. So these, I think, really are probably better for putting photos on. So I might leave that for now. Oh, yeah, there's just lots of... Now, in here, you've also got these pockets and tags to go in. So I'm not going to use it. I like that one as well. Again, you've got tags there. So I'm going to take the tags out and I'm going to take the pockets out. So, I don't know. Has anybody got any surefire ways for making sure, for deciding which bit of the paper to use? Right, I want something to go on the front there because that's going to be seen. So this is 5.5 by 7 3/4. So I think I'm going to use the lady with the heart. So 5.5 or just under. Save that for something else. By 7 3/4 or just under for that bit of a reveal. Okay. So again, I'm going to ink the edges on this. So so much easier when you've got a juicy ink pad. Okay, pop some glue on the back. And then I'm just going to line that up. And then burnish that down. Okay, so I want something to complement that for the other side. I think I'll go with that one. So again, just under 7 3/4 down. And just under, let me check, 5 1/2. So on this one, I've actually kept the opposite corner, so I've cut the middle bit out because I think that actually looks nicer than cutting that part way through. Okay. Just ink those edges. Oh, I've only just spotted your comment, Diane. I've already stuck her down, I'm afraid. So put some glue on here. Now you can see from these that the backs of these papers are just gorgeous, but there are some that are quite plain. Okay, so we'll pop that one there, and I've completely cut that wrong, but I've done it too long, so I'll just, the good thing with this glue that I use for papers is if you're quick, you can get away with doing things like that and then putting it back on. Okay, so keep all your bits, I'm sure you know by now, you can just use them for other parts of your project. Now this bit that was an offcut could actually go for these two pockets on one side. I'll come back to that later and decide. So we've done that one. So we need this big pocket here. Now for this one, I'm going to use which looks better, the music side or the picture side? So I was thinking I could have the two pages this out of the one piece. Or do I do... No, stick with that one. So again, it's 6 inches across. So if I cut it just under the 6-inch mark, So I'll do it that way. And so again on this one, what I tend to do is get a pencil. That's the top of the pocket. You can measure it with a ruler, but I've usually, to be honest, I've usually lost my ruler under somewhere else. So I'll just go here, mark it on there. And cut that down. And then this, I just want this to tuck in a little bit, like that. And mark that there, trim that off. Put all my offcuts to one side, and then we'll do that afterwards. Okay. Be interesting to see if anybody can read music, if they can play what's written on here. I think my music knowledge went as far as playing Three Blind Mice on the recorder. Other than that, it doesn't exist. So just ink the edges up again. And glue on the edges. And then just pop that on the bottom. Look at that, actually lines up. I think I'm surprising myself there. Pop that back in. So if we do exactly the same on this one, look for the pocket. And then measure it just shy. And for the top it was just a 2-inch. So again, inking the edges. And glue on the back. Pop that in there. And then we'll do the other section. waterfall back in. So when I'm putting the papers on, I tend to do the largest bits first. So on here, you've got quite a large layout. Now what I did, I don't know, you could do one, just cut it, trim it down the middle, and that will fit 2 pages if you want that. Or you could just put some of the edging round. It depends on how many photos you want to go through it. I think I'm going to have that on there and just do that way. So that's, again, that's 8 inches high. I'm going to keep the harp on that one. So bring it just under the 8. And then they're 6 inches wide. So again, I'm going to go just under the 6 inches. Want to keep that there. Just under the, and I'm trimming the end piece off, and that means that it actually meets up in the middle with just a little bit of a reveal there, but it does actually meet up. So that's those 2. Now don't forget, if you're using the kits, you actually get 2 packs of the Stamperia paper, so you don't have to be quite as frugal with it. Or if there's one piece that you perhaps don't like, or you're not that keen on, you can always use the other side. Like I say, they are really nice on both sides of the paper. Those 2. That one. That's that one. So now we can work on this one. Now with the Dewdrops book, because that's not seen as much, I had these 2 matching, so it does actually run into it. So, and the same on this side, just so that it's cohesive when you go through like that. And obviously you can put your photos wherever you like. So I'm going to do that again this time. Ooh. Can't make my mind up with these papers, so I'll come back to that in a minute. These little offcuts, some of them I will keep, but some of them are just too narrow, to do anything with, so don't keep pieces that you're going to use. I'm going to go back and so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to work on these 2 pages. And I'm going to actually work on the pockets. So if I pop that like that, you'll be able to see a little bit better. So if we look on this, again, I just mark where the edges of the paper are, or the edges of the pocket I should say, and trim that down. So that one will go on there, and again the same with this one. Because I've already trimmed it there, I just need to trim that bit. Okay, now it's up to you when you're doing these pockets. You can either measure and then draw a line, or I tend to just make a little pencil mark just inside so you get that little reveal, and then line it up in your trimmer. Trim that down, and there you go, it fits perfectly. So again, just make sure you rub out the pencil marks and ink the edges. So that's the first one. So if we do it again on this one, line it up where it should be, and it's already cut with the reveal at top and bottom. So if you just come in slightly and then line that up so line your 2 marks up against the end of your cutting line, chop the corner off, and again, oops, that will just fit on there. Rub the pencil lines out. Yeah, I agree with you, Wendy. I can measure, but then I don't know if it's my brain doesn't work right, but this I found is the easiest way to do it. And if I'm working on dark, I find it easier to mark with the it's actually a quilter's pencil that I found is really good. But yeah, I struggle for, oh, I like that side as well now. No. Once you've decided which side of your paper you're using, don't look at the other side, because it might not fit the other way round. Okay. There we go. So to take them out, and move them over to the other pocket. You don't need to do this. I just find it's easier, and it means I can see where the edge of the pockets are, and I don't try not to mess it up quite as much. But at the end of the day, if it is not quite right, who's going to know apart from you? And you don't need to tell anybody if you don't want that it's not quite right. So again, pop this down, make a mark with the pencil. So that's going to take it to the right height for both pockets. And again, just the inside for that one. I'll take that away. So that's one pocket done. And then the other one, it needs to go about there. Okay. So just gently holding it in place. And make my marks for the corner, and the same with this one. Make sure you hold it straight. Wendy, I've never made a book that's not got something wrong with it. It's not that there's something wrong with it, Wendy. It just means it's unique to you. So even if you've made the same book with the same papers as somebody else, it means yours is unique. I don't go with mistakes. They are just your own personal take on things. Line up the two pencil marks if you can still see them. And yeah, so I just need to ink the edges again. If you're using quite a dark ink and you've just got a normal pencil mark, sometimes you don't even bother need to rubbing it off because it just gets covered up with the ink anyway. Okay, just gonna rub that bit of white pencil off because it's glaring at me. You glue on the back, line it up, and just hold it before it goes everywhere. And again, line it up, and that's those pockets done there. So now there is a pocket at the top here. I don't know if you can see that. So one of the offcuts that we've used, I think I might use that for that pocket, because we're going to need a biggish piece for here, so we can just use that. So again, take my pencil, and it needs chopping off there and there. See, that's exactly 2 3/4. If I'd have measured it, it wouldn't have been anywhere near that. So pop your pieces there. So put your glue on the back, and oops, there you go, that's in place. Okay, so I think we'll leave it there for tonight. Those of you that are working along or following and doing it later, if we leave it there, and if we say homework for this week is to base decorate your pages, like I say, you decorate however you want. I would do the large sections first, and then perhaps look at, so for instance on this one you could use that and paper piece and use that bit there, or again that one's, you could use it on its side, but there are some of them that are directional, so just bear that in mind, because you don't want to be breaking your neck if you don't need to. So, but you have got 2 pads to go at. I know with some of the photo mats, I've paper pieced pieces, so I'll just pop that in there, and then next week we'll work on the covers and the spine, and then we can put the pockets in on the front and inside front and back covers, and then we'll work on putting the spine together and the hinges, and then you can pop these into your book. If you've got pages like these, they are actually really, if you want to cut them out, they make really good journal spots, photo mounts. You can put a square photo in there and in that one, so they're quite nice to cut out because you don't want to sit and watch me cutting. And again, these are little folded pockets, so if you cut that out, you can either use it that way or fold it in half like a book. And if you want to cut those out for next week and some of your tags, because you've got 2 sheets of this paper, you've got one lot of tags, but on the other side you've got a really nice blue sheet that you can use for base decorating some of your other pages. Hope that all makes sense to you. If not, drop me a message and I'll try and explain. Okay, take care, and I'll see you all next week. Happy crafting to you as well, Wendy. Bye.